Devin and Shakur.
Right.
Because those two boxing phenoms, you know, if you're not on that level mentally, like, you're not even gonna compete with those two dudes.
Right.
You know?
It's such an interesting thing because a lot of people don't know. You know, the general public, when someone gets to like an elite level, they need some high profile fight in order for people to realize, because all the boxing fans realize, like Shakur's a great example. It's not really a household name, but he should be.
Shakur sees that. He's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in. Shakur takes a big step back. You know, again, always understanding, because he has great eyes, understands boxing very well and movements. And Shakur is going to step out of range and make Teo fall short.
So much confidence in his power. So he doesn't give a he's giving away a couple
Yeah, he
rounds
definitely be giving away rounds, but, you know, he just, in his mind, he know it's a matter of time before I catch you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Joe Rogan and Terence Crawford discuss the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez and make it clear that Shakur operates at a higher level. They explain that this fight goes beyond raw talent and focuses on game planning adjustment and who can control the pace when the pressure rises. Rogan points out Stevenson's rare defensive skills, while Crawford highlights his sharp accuracy and perfect timing. In the end, they agree this fight will show who truly stands on top, as both fighters enter the ring with elite ability, smart thinking, and true determination.
I mean, he's an elite fighter. He's so f***ing good. But he needs like a big, high-profile fight, like Gervonta did, you know, against
Nobody
Ryan
want to fight
Garcia.
him.
Right.
Nobody want to fight him.
Yeah.
And I see why. You know, I get it. But at the same time, you know, they're going to have to see him sooner or later. No matter what, no matter how far they go, they're going to have to see him sooner or later. So, you know, all these fighters, you know, he's calling out everybody. He's calling out the Pitbull. He's calling out Lomachenko.
Yeah.
He's calling out Devin. He's calling out, you know, Tank. He's calling out everybody.
Yeah.
And he want to fight everybody right now.
Right.
You know, and that's a dangerous man when you know how talented he is, and he's motivated. He's focused. He's stay in the gym. He's a gym rat. He loves boxing to the core. Like, yeah, that's a dangerous man right now, because he got something on his mind that, you know, he wanna accomplish.
And he's still very young.
Yeah.
Very young and still getting better with every fight. Mm-hmm. Him versus Tank would be insane.
Yeah.
Tank is one of the most interesting fighters to watch because he's so different. His style is so different. You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, and, you know, man, he be cracking them dudes.
Hey. Joe Rogan speaks highly of Shakur Stevenson and his rare defensive approach and overall fighting ability, calling it exceptional. He explains that Stevenson separates himself by reading opponents' early predicting attacks and controlling space inside the ring. Rogan points out that this mix of smart defense and clean technique helps Stevenson stay calm during tough moments, avoid reckless moves, and take advantage when openings appear, which makes him one of the most talented and challenging fighters in boxing today.
Philly shell since Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
His fucking defense was incredible.
Yeah. Defense, and he stayed, and that guy was putting the guy from Golden Boy, I can't remember his name, who he fought, but was just a good fighter and was really pressuring him. And Shakur stayed in the pocket.
Yeah.
He stayed in the pocket.
He also said he's not
calling him a runner before.
Anymore.
He's not a runner, yeah.
But he said after that fight, I'm not going to fight that way anymore. He said I took too many shots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he wanted to like put on a show and show everybody he's not just a runner. He could stand in the pocket. But then he's like, why am I doing this? I'll box the shit out of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, he's a silver medalist, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's elite. He's elite. Yeah. And just one of the best, like, it's as far as skill.
Greg Hackett shares a sharp view on Teofimo Lopez by focusing on the mental and physical elements that shape his performances. He explains that Lopez often believes a knockout is his main way to win and depends heavily on speed, strength, and confidence to control fights. Hackett reflects on the Lomachenko fight and notes how Lopez's aggression and hunger forced the champion to be careful. He adds that Lopez today is not the same as fame and high expectations have changed his mindset. Even though Lopez has power speed footwork and the right mentality, he does not always use them together. At times he shows speed without power or power without proper timing. Hackett finishes by saying that if Lopez can bring all his skills and focus together at the same moment, he has the ability to beat Shakur Stevenson.
Teofimo Lopez, mentally.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Teo talking about, you feel like he can get him out of there in 9. Do you feel like that's the only opportunity that he could do to get the victory is by getting him out of there and, not boxing Shakur?
I'm going to tell you this. When Teo fought Lomachenko, right? I'll tell you what it was. His strength, his speed, and his mindset, that fight was why Lomachenko was so hesitant to throw. Teo could do the same thing to Shakur, but now it's a different day. He wasn't as famous as he is now as he was back then. Back then he was more hungry.
Cool.
When he fought Lomachenko, he was hungry.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a while since he's been really hungry and been really wanting to win the fight. I think this fight could be that, but his mindset, his focus, his strength and everything, he got to bring everything to the table. And he could beat Shakur because he has the ingredients. The problem is he can't put them together. Sometimes he show up with the speed without the power. Sometimes he show up with the power without the footwork. Sometimes he show up with the footwork without the mindset. You know what I'm saying? He be in pieces. If he bring everything to the table, he'll be cool.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's the leader of the new school when it comes down to those two guys?
No. The leader of the new school would be Abdullah Mason. The reason why, he's 21 years old. He's been pro for like 4 years. The rest of them dudes been...
Tim Bradley, a former world champion and respected boxing analyst, gives a detailed breakdown of the highly anticipated fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. He starts by pointing out the clear difference in their fighting styles and how those differences could shape the result of the bout. Bradley explains that Lopez depends on sharp, explosive movements that create serious power in short moments. His ability to throw fast combinations and switch smoothly between attack and defense makes him dangerous and unpredictable with the power to change a fight instantly. This aggressive and energetic approach has built Lopez a reputation as one of the strongest punchers in his division. However, Bradley warns that this style comes with risks, especially against a calm and highly technical fighter like Stevenson. Stevenson stands out for his timing, strong defense, and accuracy, which makes it difficult for Lopez to land clean shots. Bradley ends by saying that while Lopez brings speed and power, Stevenson's smart and disciplined approach could cancel those strengths, making this fight a true test of strategy, skill, patience, and timing that may decide who wins.
The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. Footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. Fast, twitchy type muscles, fibers. He's extremely fast. Some may say that his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition. However, he's in there with a guy that is a master at controlling distance. That's he's a master at literally, getting in his position, right? in a position where he wants to be and taking away your positioning. And with doing so, he takes away your feet, and that's why I think feet are going to be extremely important in this. If you can keep your opponent off balance, for instance, let me just give you an example. It's like Teo explodes. There's a subtlety before he explodes with his offense. And as soon as Shakur sees that, he's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in. Shakur takes a big step back. Again, always understanding because he has great eyes. Great eyes, understands boxing very well and movements. And Shakur's going to step out of range.
Stevenson's trainer, Wally Moses, delivers a clear warning to Teofimo Lopez about the risks of underestimating Shakur Stevenson. He points out that Stevenson's mix of speed, defensive skill, and tactical flexibility makes him very hard to beat. No single style can control Stevenson because he adjusts instantly to an opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Moses explains that Stevenson studies his opponents closely and changes his approach on the fly, taking advantage of even the smallest mistakes. Lopez cannot rely on basic strategies or pure aggression alone. He must be ready for a fast-changing challenge. Moses stresses that Stevenson's technical skill, ring intelligence, and calm under pressure make him unpredictable and dangerous. Any misjudgment could be costly, as Stevenson can turn fights around in seconds. Moses concludes that beating Stevenson requires full respect and complete focus, showing why he is one of the smartest and toughest fighters in the division today.
Style prevails over every style in the world so far. Shakur wasn't just an amateur boxing champion. He was a world amateur boxing champion on more than one occasion. Also, he was the AIBA Fighter of the Year, making him the best boxer in the world, an amateur boxer. So, Shakur is looking for those same things from Jay Quinn in terms of inside the professional ranking. But Shakur has been proven that he's been the number one boxer throughout his life. He was number one in every category that he boxed in, from a kid coming up. You know what I mean? Here in the U.S., he had eclipsed every boxer over like 1,000, almost close to 2,000 points in terms of his winning. So, it's not a thing that, people be talking about what have Shakur done. They know what Shakur done in his amateur rankings. And Shakur done everything that they never were capable of doing. So, it's only going to be a matter of time before he proves, this caliber of fighter that he is to the world.
Now, as far as the weight jump goes, what's that preparation like? That'll be his fourth weight class.
Well,
what do you look to? Do you look to add more muscle? What's the proper way of adding weight when jumping up?
Let me give you an example. All right, let's look at when Terence fought Canelo, right?
Yeah.
Everybody talking about him walking up and moving up here. The weight was going to be a problem, but a lot of people don't know what these cats really walk around at. So, the weight back.
Jermaine Ortiz, a seasoned professional boxer, offers deeper insight into the fight, focusing on Stevenson's growth and maturity in the ring. He explains that Stevenson has learned from past mistakes, especially moments when he overextended or acted recklessly. In earlier bouts, Stevenson sometimes left openings while trying to take control, but Ortiz believes he now understands the importance of managing distance and timing. This progress means Stevenson will face Lopez with greater awareness, combining smart defense with measured aggression. Ortiz stresses that Stevenson's careful approach isn't a sign of caution, but a strategic evolution aimed at maximizing his effectiveness against a tough opponent.
Maybe a glimpse or two.
Why?
And one, Shakur said it himself after that fight that he wasn't going to fight like that again. And that's the main reason. He said he wasn't going to do it. And
Teo's cracking like that?
To 140, which isn't really, huh?
Is Teo cracking?
No, I don't think. I think he had more of a threat with Zepeda as a puncher and Teofimo. But he's going up a weight class. That's not actually his weight class as well.
You think that'll play a factor?
No, that would play a factor in him not fighting Pac how he did with the Peter.
Got you.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, because of the style, you feel like he's gonna be in and out, moving around, making sure that
in and out,
doing things that Teal don't like.
He got longer arms. You know, I think he'll just keep him. He'll keep him at bay. You know, Teo's a tricky fighter too, so not saying that he can't, slip in and catch him with a couple shots, but Shakur, I think he's gonna be defensively sound. He doesn't like getting hit, and I think he's gonna stick to that.
As far as Shakur is concerned, and Teal, when you look at the speed, when you look at the timing, who do you feel like has that edge when it comes down to that? It could be separate. It could be somebody got the speed.
Shakur Stevenson stands out in boxing not just for skill, but for his dedication and personal discipline. He approaches every workout and sparring session with care, knowing that small choices in preparation can have a big impact in the ring. His focus goes beyond physical training to include mental sharpness, tactical planning, and overall fight intelligence. Stevenson constantly reviews his performances, learning from both wins and losses, and uses that insight to improve. This combination of careful preparation and reflection allows him to execute complex strategies, adapt during fights, handle surprises, and stay composed under pressure. His discipline, strategic thinking, and flexibility have earned respect from trainers, analysts, and fellow fighters, making him not only a skilled athlete, but also one of the most thoughtful and methodical strategists in modern boxing.
Lopez will rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teal's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But Teo says a lot of crazy things that a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he showed him that his levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur is at. I think this is a great fight. I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's gonna be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm gonna say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's going to happen is going to become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm going to go with Shakur on this one. But you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready to...
Adding his perspective, Zab Judah, former world champion and respected analyst, predicts that the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez will be explosive. He describes it as a true battle of skill versus skill, where raw power meets technical precision. Judah points out that both fighters bring top-level talent, determination, and a fierce drive to dominate. The matchup will test more than just strength or stamina. It will challenge each boxer's ability to stay calm under pressure, adjust to changing situations, and execute their game plan perfectly. Judah stresses that the mental side of the fight is just as important as speed, power, or accuracy, since neither fighter will give in easily. Fans can expect an exciting showcase of boxing intelligence, resilience, and high-level execution. According to Judah, the bout will highlight not only their physical skills, but also strategy, timing, and tactical awareness, offering a thrilling example of modern boxing at its best, full of action, precision, and unpredictability.
What do you like about it?
It's two dog fighters. You got two dog fighters that's coming in there to solidify themselves as the game changer. Teo's not gonna lay down. Shakur is not gonna lay down. It's gonna be skill versus skill. Teo's a very talented, skillful fighter. Shakur is a very extremely talented, skillful fighter. And yes, we're gonna see a hell of a great chess match that night.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, I think in your earlier predictions, you felt like Shakur will be stopping Teo. Am I right?
Annihilation, decapitation. Is that what you're talking about? You going back to my comments? Yeah. I feel like Teo's a very dominant force, but I just think that the skills of Shakur Stevens is gonna overwhelm.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more. Until next time,